All right, folks, we have another eye in the sky, third person, and we are in Hagerstown Turnpike, and this is a lot brighter Hagerstown Turnpike than I normally get. I like this Hagerstown Turnpike. It's always got that kind of weird early morning thing. Anyways, it's almost 260, and we're just starting the round, so I'm pretty pleased with that. We had a fairly close, a very cagey round of Hooker's Push before this, with the Union eventually prevailing. I thought the CSA was almost going to rope-a-dope them, but CSA out of lines. I noticed that several of them were CSA artillerists who just would not pull back when the Union came up on them, and they gave up way too many out of lines to the Union, and so the Union was just able to put the CSA in breaking, I think, around 8 or 9 minutes, and the Union was too far off the cap. They've been playing very deep back from the cap, and I think they probably could have held if it wasn't for those out of lines, but we're not on that map anymore. That was the previous round. It was a good round. It was close. But yeah, we're on Hagerstown, which is a map I really like. If you're unfamiliar with it, there's a ton of CSA already. There are 2 guns here. I guess they've already wheeled. Have they wheeled the third over to where I generally would wheel it to? Maybe they've wheeled it elsewhere. Oh, they've wheeled it back. Okay. Well, that's fine. And then the big battery is the one back here. This 6-gun battery up here. Once you get right up here, you have a very nice view going forward. That tree is pretty much your reference point for the point of contention, though the actual point of contention is slightly off from where it appears. So it's a bit of an odd one. But the CSA, this is kind of their half. They'll hold from the tree fence line all the way over to here, and then sometimes they'll be forced to come over here. Well, the Union basically runs a U or a bowl around it. The CSA has buck and ball on this map, and so they have some very good close range options. The Union also has artillery. They're likely bringing up from, well, where it spawns. Yeah, it's a slow, it's quite literally a slow roll. What the Union is doing over here is what the Union frequently does over here. There is a hill. We'll get down in it. And if they come up over it or they come up on it, they can shoot into the woods. You can see here the Union are trying to pinch whatever CSA group is in the woods by bringing in a second flag. Maybe look at the numbers. And it also protects their artillery. Otherwise, the CSA can come up here and shoot into the Union artillery as it's wheeling stuff up, and they can lose a lot of out of formation tickets. So
we cannot see shit in there.
Well, I think
that's out of bounds. That's out of bounds.
Yeah.
Boys, get over here. Boys, pull it back. Pull it back. Let's go. Pull it back. Let's go. Oh my God. Don't listen to a random guy just call down orders, boys.
Alrighty, so that's the right side push. It looks like, at least for now, the CSA were brushed back, but I think the CSA were already back before that charge came in. You can hear the buck and ball discussion. If the CSA can bring the Union into the woods, then the CSA has that buck and ball, and that's a close range affair because you're in the woods, limited sight lines, lots of cover to snag long range shooting, and so not only can the Union, or will the Union time out there, they will have a difficult shootout. Some CSA also, I think, have 41s, which are quite good at range. An interesting looking and sounding weapon, the Mississippi.
Just jump in the woods south.
If there's one land feature that really matters, it's pretty much this mound that this group is going over right here. Because of the relatively small area and its central location overlooking the point, overlooking those woods, you'll see that this is frequently fiercely contested between both sides. It's got some bushes for concealment, but it's a short distance to anywhere important on this map is control of this mound, so, or at least the ability to use it to sneak a peek. But the CSA is playing it cagey. They're not that cagey, actually. They're down almost a half morale stage going into the 38th minute here. But we'll see how things stabilize. Last round, again, the CSA really did hold it together for much of the round. If they can rein in their Rambos this round, the Union did not early cap on Hooker's push. They had a lot, and they were way ahead of tickets at the end, like at least the full morale stage. And so we will see. Yeah. This is a tactic. I think I'm going to talk about this in an upcoming video, but it's a variation of crest firing, which is kind of what this group isn't doing, but it's where you kind of run up, shoot, run back, or run down, and then you shoot again. And you end up usually spending more time not shooting than shooting. But you can use it to probe. But you see now, the group that I think was reticent to come up to the woods earlier. Yeah, yet again CSA Rambos, but they think the woods are theirs, but not entirely. So you could probably tell there's a lot of CSA out of the woods, but I think that means that there's at least.
Alright, you got to hold back now. Hold back now. You killed enough Rambos. Or they killed enough us.
Yeah.
Right over here on me.
Yeah, it looks like we know that there's only one CSA group in the woods. Alright, now we'll see if the Union, which has to attack, is actually going to attack. They hold the key terrain features, they hold the far right, the mound, they're advancing towards the cap. Homeless Bananas group here.
Good shit.
Yeah, you always got to check your bushes. People are doing their best hell let loose impressions here a lot in War of Rights and Ramboing in bushes, but just check your bushes. Like you know, the advice when you're Easter egg hunting. Check anywhere. There's probably somebody there. This is also kind of that crest firing. You can see that man there, unless they're getting shot from the top of the hill, this is kind of the same thing. You're reloading cover. It makes more sense to do as the defenders if you're not being hard pressed. As the attackers, you really want to be throwing as much lead at a profitable target as you can. And so if you're spending too much time running around rather than shooting, you might not have enough time to do what you gotta do. Hagerstown is a small map. But I'm talking about the time it takes to run out of cover to shoot and then run back into cover or concealment or whatever it is. Again, as defenders who are trying to conserve tickets and just make a show of force, sometimes it makes more sense. But I mean, we'll see whether it works, but certainly my heart's here with Bananas Group, which is go up to the point. Yeah, they dropped quite a few for the ones that they could see. That I don't think is crest fire so much as they don't want to cap. I think that's what that is. And we see now the Union has pretty much given up because they realize the CSA is just going to stand them off. Actually, though, the Union has them at a pretty good ticket burn rate, and then this is what the CSA does once you abandon this right side hill, is they'll come up this, and as you turn around, they're going to come and try to shoot you in the side. So what the Union's going to do, they're going to run right at them. If you're sure you have the numbers, you should move and cut off their retreat. I understand it might expose you to fire for a little bit longer, but you want to wipe on that flag, and you want to get a bunch of those out of formation at the end. But I think the Union has the numbers.
Keep going!
Yes, it is true that yelling it louder will make it happen. It's an actual first-person shooter strategy. But yeah, the red caps there, or those red caps there, 14 Brooklyn. That's a Union win on that group, and somehow the CSA did not get the flag out, so they're going to be down a flag. Luckily for the CSA, they spawn right there, right behind the group, or the groups that are shooting. That looked like canister coming in.
Anyway, boys,
Canister.
are we loaded? We're gonna push it up the cap because we're not doing great.
Definitely
on time.
viable.
So we're gonna move it up. I'm gonna just let.
I would disagree. The tickets are relatively even. Maybe the union's a little behind, but they tend to take more at the beginning, and they should have the CSA engaged well before 27 minutes. So they don't have to go for an early cap here, though. It's not terrible if they do, since they're not far ahead on tickets. But if you're going to cap early, my advice is do it early. You cap early and around. You don't want to wait until there's like 14 minutes on the black timer to begin a series of capping early. We'll talk about it in other places, but this is certainly the time and around to do it. So again, what this group is doing, I don't think is crest firing, because I think they're trying to avoid the early cap. So, but it was a good example of why crest firing, I think, is generally suboptimal. And this is true in organized play and in pub play. It takes so long to get everybody in position and fire that the group you're coming to, I'll say it's the peekers' advantage. They're not peeking. It's kind of the defender's advantage. That all they have to do is wait for you to show up. They're at the ready, and then they take aim and fire before you're even ready to take aim. It's the advantage that they have, and like I said, there is a time and a place to crest fire, but I don't think it's generally a great tickets trade. Loose formation makes a bit more sense, and then walking down a group or walking in, particularly for the attackers, walking the group down. But you see that group is going to move to the fence, so they're going to get some cover from that fence. They could also spread out on the fence, which would be all that much better. Try to get one of those vertical fence posts. But you can see out here, you are not hiding from either battery. And so once those batteries find their range,
we can afford to go off.
and that's right. Again, maybe this time it'll be the Union Rambos that throw for them, but you're going to go hide in a bush. Maybe it works, but remember, when you start losing people and they have to respawn on flag, yeah, the flag respawn times are fine, but everybody except for the officers spawn with an unloaded weapon. And so that's already pretty much, by the time they get their load, put their bayo on, take aim and fire, it's about a 30-second cycle from the time they spawn in. And so if you start losing a shootout, you don't want to lose by more. You want to begin pulling out as soon as you lose it, so that doesn't snowball on you and you get further and further and further behind. Here we can see the CSA on the Union far right. They're going to come through here and they're going to farm some arty guys, I think. And they're going to get on this high ground, and we got all 4 Union groups here. So the Union already has to know that they're on their own in those cases and just abandon it. Again, these are not hard shots for, the state of arty, it's not a hard shot to hit anyways. But the Union does kind of have to hang out near the road. It's a 12-minute timer because the CSA was engaged. You see the Union's actually slightly behind, I think, in tickets. Certainly the relative ticket level. So this is not a bad idea at all for the Union. The CSA is usually going to have to pay a ticket price to come in. And so, well, we'll see what happens. There is an opportunity. Oh no, is this group still here? They are. There's an opportunity to cut this group off again. This was that gentle as a lamb group that got cut off and run over before. If the Union concentrates here, and it looks like they're going to go all in on this group, another CSA group is going to the woods rather than everybody pushing to cap. While the Union had 2 groups going up this hill, but maybe they're not far enough away for the CSA to be comfortable with that. But those 2 groups look not oversized, while these 2 groups are playing cleanup uphill. Oh, yeah, you're all on the same side. And then Joseph D's group of CSA are back in that corner. It's a long way from cap, but we do have a CSA group now. Maybe sufficiently happy that the Union's far enough away. So one or two of those groups need to turn and deal with this decap that's going on. And those Union who are out there getting shot, you might as well move and shoot. I know you generally want to shoot, but when Artie has you ranged... Uh-oh. There is no friendly help over here. They're just... There's an Artie officer and 2 infantry officers. Yeah, they're just doing the infantry version of shelling the woods there. That's not going to do anything useful, because the most useful thing is to keep this cap going, keep the CSA bleeding, but the Union are pretty much going to give that up for free after getting a little bit hammered trying to take it, and then they're just getting hammered out in the field. So, look, if you're going to play cap recap, and I'm usually an advocate for it if you attack, you've got to keep your units in a position that they're near the cap. You don't want to cap with like 1 or 2 companies that are ready to defend it and the other 1 or 2 are off, you know, in La La Land, because a good enemy, and that's all you need to worry about, is going to know to concentrate against those who have their stuff together, and the groups who are busy shooting at shadows in the woods, they're not going to be able to help you no matter what. So we'll say overall it's actually not a bad position for the Union. They're still slightly down on tickets. They don't want to fall too much further behind in tickets, but on time I would want the defenders at taking losses with 17 minutes. They're certainly on track to do that, but they just got to advance in the future. With losing fewer tickets. And maybe a trip up the Pike is the best way to do it. And leave one company back on the hill to guard the right side.
Alright, gentlemen, up and over, up and over, up and over. Up and over.
We not have our loads, I thought we had our loads.
The problem with this group, and this is always true, it's not this group, it always feels like
Behind the rocks, reload, don't reload here.
they're so far away that they're not going to hit much, and they're too far away to put pressure on the cap. But they're at just the perfect range for artillery to shoot them. I understand the rocks give you cover, but as the attackers,
Whatever you like, Nick Abe or whatever you like, shoot at their dicks.
you got to do...
Keep fucking going, don't stop, go!
Yeah. I guess the CSA is out here on a... Oh, they got pushed off this side. And now the Union are closing the ticket gap. It's, for all intents and purposes, tied, and so that's good for them. So overall, the Union are back sitting pretty on Hagerstown. We'll see what they do next. These guys have a little peek into that.
Keep up independence.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess just barely on some of those guys. And unlike this group here, which kind of does have to defend the right because of the mound, there's no corresponding threat. The defenders are going to flank you by pushing out into this field. So, I mean, They can push out here, but a wide flank is not going to be to the advantage of the CSA on this map. So, all right. So the Union have gone taking losses first.
All right, company on me. Company on me. Break your load. Oh yeah. Get on my shoulders.
And there's the CSA.
Alright, full kit here. Full kit here.
So we got 1, 2, 3 Union companies. Where's the 4th? All right, so they're back over here. So it looks like the Union is concentrating. If they wanted to push, it looks like there's actually 3 CSA infantry there, and then maybe those are just Rambos and it's all 4 infantry. I'm not sure. Oh no, there's the 4th CSA company. Yeah, so they're in a kind of loose formation. They're using the vertices of these fence posts to try to get as much cover as they can. I think that's a better, if you want to minimize your losses, that's probably going to do better. If you're going to be that loose and probably in skirmishing, you might as well take a knee, because you're probably in skirmishing anyways. It's just going to cost you a little bit in terms of reload, but you just want to make yourself hard to hit and conserve tickets. But yeah, that group is certainly drawing the attention of the Union, but this group for the 3rd or 4th time is in danger of being cut off. If the Union wants to, I think that they could rush for that junction, cut off their retreat, wipe them again, and put that flag out of action once more. I guess I was wrong, and that's usually how it goes. So this is one of the other approaches. If you don't know Hagerstown, making the most of your map, the Union will go over here, and I've just found, if I'm up there in my usual perch and already on Hagerstown, it seems like when they go into this defilade and they get behind these rocks, I pretty much just lose them. Even up on that elevation, it's hard to see a lot of the folks who are here.
Boys, we're supposed to fire the movement of the rocks. I got shot again. I have a bad habit of that happening to me. Over here.
Yeah. It is War Brights, and again, this is long range. It doesn't have to be terribly effective, but it does tell the Union that they know they're there. This looks like a version of Crest firing. Rather than going up and over a hill, it's out from behind cover. But maybe only some of them are firing where others are moving. Oh no, it's a slow Crest fire. Very slow, I think.
Right there, actually to the right of it now. They're in the field. Within a fire.
Yeah. And you can move so slowly that another company that wasn't squaring off against you starts squaring off against you. So I think the Union approach now is to just press the CSA for a bit. They probably reason, not entirely wrongly, that if it takes 12 minutes to get the CSA into breaking, they can push them at relatively minor losses, or at least relatively equal losses, and that will force the CSA to come out, hang out, and rock up. You can see a lot of those CSA artist shots, they looked a little high, and it's just because of the terrain here. And if we're down in it, it's hard to see a lot of this. I'm even up too high, I think, in most cases. This is a little bit of a defilade. If you're gonna crest fire, this is the way I would do it. I would do it kneeling, get your reloads, take aim, then rise and fire, and then right back down. You won't spend a lot of time running. You'll mostly spend your time reloading
move it up,
and shooting.
If I die, you guys just run a volley by yourself.
I have no idea how that guy got domed. But anyways, well, that's not the crest fire I'm talking about. That's running up, and it's very easy to time when you're the defender, because you realize that's what they're going to do. You're going to be reloaded before they are, the crest firers, and you just shoot back. The Union has a lot more tickets than the CSA on this map, though. Artie's underpowered compared to what it used to be. And so it looks impressive, but
Volleys, when they pop up, you shoot them.
you can see the CSA's, I'd say, actually for the first time probably behind in tickets relative to the Union, even with those already hits going. All right, so CSA is what, committing? They're not committing to the woods. They're just committing to the defilade, I guess, which they can do. They're the defenders. They're holding a kind of pivot point, which is locked on. So this lone tree here, the defilade I showed earlier, which gives them some cover from shots coming that way.
Love is how I get up in the morning.
Some defilade until the Union comes out, and then you can always hop in the woods if you want to do that. I don't know, where's that other CSA infantry group? All right, so there's 3 right there, 4 right there. But maybe the CSA is seeing what I'm seeing, and the tickets are a little too close for comfort, and so they'll pull back and play cagey. I think as the Union, you got to kind of feel that, or notice where they're not, and you still have a Union group that's way over here, and the other Union group is way over there. The Union they're far enough away from the CSA. It's going to be hard for the CSA to concentrate and wipe either of the groups on the extreme flanks. But the Union's also not really close enough to deal ticket damage or to threaten the point, so the ball is in the Union's court here, and they're going to have to make a decision about what they do. I don't know. I did not think overloading the right flank was...
Long-range shot, but you guys have Enfield.
Gentlemen, take aim.
I gotta look at what these guys are shooting at here. Oh, they're shooting down there. Okay, gotcha.
Who is this?
Hold
there. I am so sorry. I jumped in front of you. I just realized.
No,
My
I'm just
bad.
gonna form tier. No, Pax, stay there. There's a
Okay.
big rebel line.
Okay, so one Union line positioned themselves in front of the other, and he's going to take some long-range shots at the CSA. All right. Yeah, that's the typical
Holy
CSA
shit.
arty experience I have on this group. Crest firing certainly works when the other side doesn't know you're there. But the Union has the advantage here, so just let them rip. Might have dropped like 2 people. Yeah, I'm not sure if 2 information deaths every 30 seconds is going to be enough. I'm trying to remember when the CSA would take losses at around 24 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. Maybe it was more, but I'm trying to figure out the ticket bleed rate, and I'd want them in breaking with 9 minutes left, so I don't know. Given how far off the Union's playing, I would pull back. Yeah, this makes sense because you're not all the way up. You're far enough up that you can kind of shoot out and see out, and you'll probably tease a volley to come back at you.
Hey! Hey! That's what I'm talking
But you shouldn't take huge damage. I just... Yeah, and the Union's still committed to moving Artie up to shell the woods there. Alright. I guess Halo's had enough of this, and he wants a closer peek, so he's going to go up and get that peek. And the CSA sees it, given the sudden movement towards the snake fence. We'll see if his friendlies respond. They don't look quite ready yet, but the arty is it.
Charges.
Oh, good. This is actually the right move. If you get charged out, pull back. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed. That allows friendlies to come up. Yeah, that's actually nicely done. And that's the Crest fire, though. Run up, shoot, run back. It can be good at fixing a group, right, who's ready, and they get fixated on watching you and timing your volley, and that might allow some friendlies to come in while they're waiting for that to happen.
Right through these woods into them.
Yeah, you can see that this group now running past us has the jump. I don't know how they got that big of a jump on that group up here, but there's an opportunity here to make it bloody. Wow. That was, I don't know if they planned it that way, but that was a good volley and then a charge into them. These guys are shooting, they have no idea. They're going to get wiped, but they're going to make it bloody. And the rest of the Union, if they see what's up and they care to, they can charge. But that window is shutting. And yeah, that's not... Well, now they're going in on the right. Maybe this will be enough. All right, and then they're going in here. Oh, okay, and that Union group sent their flag back. That's fine. So as long as they got the flag out, that's fine. I don't think that this is going to go terribly well. The CSA is pulling back 2 friendlies, which is a very strong tactic.
I love killing them all.
Everyone charge. Flag. Charge. Where's my flag?
Depends a little bit on who has loads, but the CSA definitely had loads for the first part of that engagement. Looks like the rest of the CSA is going to get healthy, get those loads, and they're going to win their melees by shooting, which is the best way to win a melee, and Union's going to have to do it the hard way, I think. Looks like a lot of the CSA has their loads, or they've just been ordered up, and they are going to move up here. But yeah, the Union got them in breaking. The Union did get that flag out that I saw pushing up on that attack. That was very nicely done. But you see, that was a... It was a charge. It worked in the end. It made it bloody enough.
Flag run. Flag run. Flag, what are you doing? Flag, what are you doing? Flag, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you...
I think he's trolling. Well, he's level 5. He genuinely...
Hold here,
may not
enemy
know.
fire. Hold here, enemy fire.
Let's go as we all go.
Oblique right. Oblique right. That's entire Confederate army.
Oblique right. Must have been different oblique right. They're oblique right.
Watch the road. Watch the road. One of company officers. You can hear me. Fall back. Keep it up, boys.
Goddamn sexist.
Both sides are breaking. 12 minutes left. That's fine if you're the Union. That's not a concern. They called out a CSA movement over here. I mean, yeah, they've seized this. Maybe the Union's going to go up and, yeah, they're going to try to get a bunch of out-of-formation deaths here on these guys. And again, in that situation where you know they're here, move to the cutoff. They might shoot a few of you on the way in, but you'll get them on the back end. That's the way you do that. But a flag count, that's what's going to matter for the attackers. That one who didn't know what he's doing, he cost the attackers one of their flags, but I think they have 3 others. That should be good enough to get the job done on Hagerstown when the tickets are relatively even.
Hey, one of these flags are in the wrong place.
True.
Stay here. C417.
And the CSA has their firing line here. They're just going to try to hide behind that wall of lead, which is one of the more effective. Holy moly.
Get up, boys, get up.
Now, I haven't seen an explosion that wide, a red mist that wide in a long time, but Most of them got up. Union here is going to shoot at them at long range from behind rocks. Again, I think it's the map is comfortable enough that you can do that and you can win. But you see the CSA in response is pulling off to the left. They don't want that ticket bleed rate. The response from the Union would be to pull up onto the point. It looks like that's what the Union is in fact doing. And this guy, all right, this is the guy who picked up the flag, and now he just seems to be running out of line all the time.
Give him a little more. Ow!
Yeah, the lead wall, or in this case, the artillery. I guess that's part of the lead wall, right? You see that was canister that ripped through here. You can see that nice kind of almost double column of canister. That's really easy to see, particularly when it's on a higher elevation shooting lower. It can be very good. Alright, but the Union is whittling down the CSA in relative terms. Seems to have them at a pretty good clip, and they seem to have pushed the CSA back from the point enough that the Union could go in, make a play for the cap, draw the CSA out. And then shoot them down all that much closer to last stand.
Keep going, keep going.
That was impressive. That CSA already got some red mist back here, but I don't know if that was planned or if that was just shoot at the smoke from the artillery. CSA is about to hit last stand here. They needed more time. On this one, maybe about 2 minutes you can hold in last stand. But not like this. Yeah, the skirmish line does mitigate the artillery fire. It looks like the Union, are they making a play for cap? Well, that's just another manifestation of Crest firing. It's just not moving up to the crest, but moving laterally.
Copy on this tree right here, still using the bush as cover.
CSA appears to be quick timing it.
I think I can get it as long as you guys are right there, yeah.
Okay, and now they're charging.
Right
They-
side, company,
they're about to
here,
go last
here,
stand.
Right here. Now, boys, we're gonna fire and run back. They're coming. They're coming. Fire,
Yep.
fire, fire.
That'll work
All right, boys, hold.
if they run back to friendlies and friendlies run up to them. You gotta make sure the order. I don't think that plan worked. I think at that point, their last stand, they don't come back. You're not that close to final push, and so you don't have to worry about it. You're getting friendly support here. CSA should not be over pursuing, but what else are you gonna do? You're caught between that and that. You're done. So well done for the Union. As the Union frequently does on this map, they persevere. Be interested to see what the casualties look like and the formation of those deaths. But I thought the CSA played that one about as cagey as they could. CSA already looked really good. Looked really good. It's an easy map to look good on, but still, they did what they were supposed to do. So not too much else there I can think of, except maybe early on over there in the woods, maybe rather than getting caught out and defeated, give up some out of formation deaths, maybe play it a little bit more cagey, a little bit more conservative. The Union this time didn't seem like they were too eager to cap early. So the Union is going to get a final push. That should still give them, I think, about 2 minutes. Man. Yeah, so we're over 300. Yeah, so 209 or whatever that was. But the CSA's been in last stand for too long, so they're going to get bled out here. And that'll be it.
Get the Rari! Get the Rari!